संसारदावानललिढलोका त्रनयकारुण्य घनघनात्वम् प्राप्तस्य कल्याणगुणर्नवास्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् महाप्रभो कीर्तननित्यगीता वादित्रमात्र मनसोरसेनः
महाप्रभो कीर्तननित्यगीता वादित्रमात्र मनसोरसेनः
रोमाञ्चकम्पाश्रितरङ्गभाजो वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् श्रीविग्रहारा धननित्यनानां शृङ्गारतनमन्दिरभजनाथौ युक्तस्य भक्ताजनिञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् श्रीराधिका चतुर्विधा श्रीभगवत्प्रसादो नादन्नातृप्तं हरिभक्तसङ्गान् कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजता सदैव वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् श्रीराधिका माधवयोरपारा माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनाम्नाम् प्रतीक्षणा स्वादनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् 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 निकुञ्जयूनो रतिकेलिसिद्धै यायालिभिर्युक्तिरपेक्षणीया तत्रार्तिताक्षादतिवल्लभास्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् साक्षादरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रैरुक्तस्तथा भावतैव षड्भिः किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रियैव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् यस्य प्रभावात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादानगति कुतोऽपि ध्यायास्त्रुवां तस्य यशस्त्रीसन्ध्यां वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Madhav Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadramaya Jaya Sudarshan Chakra. Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Shnupada Brahmamsa Padakacharya Stota Shata Shishmati Divine Grace Aparachana Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON PPTPI Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Padaka Acharya Stota Shata Shishmati Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Premise Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinatha Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Kiri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadvipa Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Chaitra Jagannathpuri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari. Samavrita Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pragladalada-dayine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilantanka nakalaye. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Yato yato yamitato Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha Hirdaye Narsimha. Narasimha Madhim Saranam Prapate. Tava Karakamalavare Nakam Abhuta Shingam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadhirta Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Tavakara Kapalavare Nakam Abhuta Shingam Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadhirta Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Keshavatita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Shavatita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Narasimhade 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 Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशव सच विष्णु भक्ति पदे देवी सत्यवत्याय नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशव सच विष्णु भक्ति पदे देवी सत्यवत्याय नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशव सच विष्णु भक्ति पदे देवी सत्यवत्याय नमो नमः वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय
नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः राधा कृष्ण सेवा पाभो ये अभिलाषी राधा कृष्ण सेवा पाभो ये अभिलाषी जे तोमार शरण लय तारा वंश पूर्ण होय विलास कुंजे दियो वास नयने हेरी भो सदा जुगल रूप राशि ये निवेदन धरो साखीर अनुगत करो सेवा कर दिए करो निज दासी दीन कृष्ण दासे कोई ये न मोरा होय श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा ये न भासी श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा ये न भासी नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे तानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी वृन्दादेवी जय वृन्दादेवी जय वृन्दादेवी जय वृन्दादेवी जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव ताई गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्तवत्ताय नमो नमः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्तवत्ताय नमो नमः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्तवत्ताय नमो नमः वृंदादेवी तुलसी महारानी की
Beautiful path and Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me follow Karo Danso's virgin. Please give me the preach devotional service and make me your own maid servant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna praise. May I always swim in the love, Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulsi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 fences in the matter of chanting holy name should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme devotees who dedicate their life for propagating holy name the Lord. 2. To consider the name the demigods are Lord Shiva or Brahma to be equal to independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of the Master. 4. To blaspheme the regulated 5. To consider the glory of chanting Hare Krishna as imagination. 6. To give some interpretation of holy name the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities and strength of chanting holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities, offering the Vedas fruity activities, karma, kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glory of the holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims a Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us offer our most humble obeisances on all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just as I trees who can fulfill to everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Jeto darpana marjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam Shriya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purunarmita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Paramvijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Pita Niyamita Smarane Nagalaha Edadishi Tabarkripa Bhagavam Mamapi Durudeva Midisham Iha Janina Nurakaha Trinata Pi Sunijena Tarora Pi Sahishnuna Amanina manadena kirtaniya sada harihi na thanam na janam na sundarim kavitam vajagadisha kamaye mama jammani jammanishvare bhavata bhaktir haituki tavayi ayi nanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam puta kripaya tava pada pankaja sthita duri satesham vichintaya Nayanam Garadashuru Taraya Vadanam Gadgada Rudaya Gira Pulakai Nichitam Vapurkada Tavanama Kahane Bhavishati Yuga Itam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravisha Itam Shunya Itam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahename Ashirishava Padaratam Pinnastumam Adarshanam Marmahatam Karotuva Yatha tatha va vidathatu lampato matprana nathastu sa eva na paraha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Glory to Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes fire of conditional life, repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is prime benediction of humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction to human beings. Thus we have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names have vested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, our kindness enables us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I'm so unfortunate I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking oneself well, low and strong and street. One should be more taller than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. Only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Samarjananda Krishna, I'm eternal servitor. Yet somehow I fall into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one added to the lotus feet. O my Lord, while my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name, while my voice choke up when hairs my body stand end to recitation of your name. O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considered moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and shall remain so even handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Shri Mangala Charna Press ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Litam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuitam Savatutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pachate Desha Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhavin Namaha Madhuryo Jala Premada Shri Rupanuka Bhaktita Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Mudaya Dina Darine Rupanuka Virudapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishorhaya Saksha Vairagya Mudaya Vipalambara Sampode Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumistvam Nirtishta Sajana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarabhauma Shri Jaganathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhu Pyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakham Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Srato Pangoro Mamamanda Materkati Masarasvapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divid Vindadanya Kalpadyumada Shimadra Nagara Singhasanasto Shimadratha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtari Bi Sevyamano Samarami Shiman Rasa Rasaram Pivam Shiva Tatata Stitaha Karsham Venu Soner Gopir Gopinata Shiyestunaham Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Panamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Mangalacharna Prayers Ki Jai Shri Brahma Samhita Ki Jai Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadhiradhya Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Parakara Satmasukappa Viksha Lakshariteshu Surabhi Rabi Palayantam Lakshmi Sahasa Shatasam Brahmasevyamanam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Venum Kavanantam Aravinda Dalaya Daksham Parhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Gantarpagoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shopam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Alola Chantakala Savanamada Vamshi Ranangadam Panayakeli Kalavilasam Shamam Tribanga Lalitam Yata Prakasham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vritimante Pashanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Chaganti Ananda Chimme Sadujala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Advaitam Achotam Anadi Mananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhakta Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Bantastu Koti Shatavasara Sampragamyo Vayoratapi Manaso Muni Pangavanam Sopiasti Yapapata Simya Vichinta Tatve Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ekopya Sarda Chayitum Jagatanta Kotim Yachakti Rasti Jagatanta Chayaya Dantaha Antantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yad Bhava Bhavitadiyo Manujasthateva Samprapya Rupa Mahimasana Yana Pushaha Suktayam Eva Nigama Patitai Stuvanti Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ananda Chimma Rasa Patibhavitapis Tapi Evan Jarupa Tayakalapihi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhutto Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Premanjana Churuta Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sateva Hitayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundam Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ramadi Mutishu Kalanyamena Tishtan Nanavatarama Karo Puvanishu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samapavat Paramapumam Yo Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami. Krishna, who is Govinda, the Supreme Godhead, he has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and the prime cause of all causes.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, healing all desire in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with the head decked with a peacock's feather, with the figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in the pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shyam Sundara is eternally manifest. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure and alert devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha, yet he is the person possessing the beauty of the blooming youth. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis, who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years. He is an indifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord who I adore. I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with the devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas, by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveys, and ornaments. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency, possessed of 64 artistic activities in the company of her confidentest Sakhis, embodiments of the extension of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyam Sundara, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts, with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the form of Rama, Narasimha, Vamana, etc., as his subjective portions.
Sri Brahma Samhita ki jai. Bhagavad Gita 7.1 purport. Shrunvatam swakata Krishna punyasravana kirtanaha hridayanta hi adabhadrani vidunoti suhritsatam nasta prayesva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobhasdayasya chetayate ranavidam sitam satve prasidati एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवत भक्ति योगतः भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते विद्यते हृदय गन्धेश्चिद्यन्ते सर्व संशया क्षीयन्ते च कर्माणि दृष्टा एवात्मनीश्वरे. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity, and for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the signs of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of Asamsayam Samagram, understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth Personality Godhead. Bhagavatam 1.2.17 to 21. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the signs of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 1, The Glories of Devotional Service. Saunaka Uvacha Kapilastattva Sankyata Bhagavan Atma Mayaya Jata Swayam Ajaha Sakshat Atma Prajnaptai Nram. Saunaka Uvacha, Sri Saunaka said, Kapila, Lord Kapila, Tattva of the truth, Sankyata, the expounder, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Atma Mayaya, by his internal potency, Jataha, took birth, Swayam, himself, Ajaha, unborn, Sakshat, in person, Atma Prajnaptaye, to disseminate transcendental knowledge, Nram, for the human race, translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Shaunaka said, although he is unborn, the Supreme Personality of Godhead took birth as Kapila Muni by his internal potency. He descended to disseminate transcendental knowledge for the benefit of the whole human race. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The word Atma Prajnaptaye indicates that the Lord descends for the benefit of the human race to give transcendental knowledge. Material necessities are quite sufficiently provided for in the Vedic knowledge, which offers a program for good living conditions and gradual elevation to the platform of goodness. In the mode of goodness, one's knowledge expands. On the platform of passion, there is no knowledge, for passion is simply an impetus to enjoy material benefits. On the platform of ignorance, there is no knowledge and no enjoyment, but simply life almost like that of animals. The Vedas are meant to elevate one from the mode of ignorance to the platform of goodness. When one is situated in the mode of goodness, he is able to understand knowledge of the self or transcendental knowledge. This knowledge cannot be appreciated by any ordinary man. Therefore, since a disciplic succession is required, this knowledge is expounded either by the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself or by his bona fide devotee. Saunaka Muni also states here that Kapila, the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, took birth or appeared simply to appreciate and disseminate transcendental knowledge, simply to understand that one is not matter but spirit soul. Aham Brahmasmi, I am by nature Brahman, is not sufficient knowledge for understanding the self and his activities. One must be situated in the activities of Brahman. Knowledge of those activities is explained by the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Such transcendental knowledge can be appreciated in human society but not in animal society, as clearly indicated here by the word Rinam for the human beings. Human beings are meant for regulated life. By nature, there is regulation in animal life also, but that is not like the regulative life as described in the scriptures or by the authorities. Human life is regulated life, not animal life. In regulated only life can one understand transcendental knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 2. Nahi asya varshmana pumsam varimna sarvayoginam visrutau srutadevasya bhuri triptyanti me sava. Not, hi, indeed. Asya, about him. Varshmanaha, the greatest. Pumsam, among men. Varimnaha, the foremost. Sarva, all. Yoginam, of yogis. Vishrutau, in hearing. Srutadevasya, the master of the Vedas. Bhuri, repeatedly. Tripyanti, are seated. Me, my. Asavaha, senses. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Saunaka continued, there is no one who knows more than the Lord himself. No one is more worshipable or more mature yogi than he. He is therefore the master of the Vedas, and to hear from about him always is the actual pleasure of the senses. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that no one can be equal or to or greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is confirmed in the Vedas also. Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. He is the supreme living entity, and he is supplying the necessities of all other living entities. Thus, all other living entities, both Vishnu Tattva and Jiva Tattva, are subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Then the same concept is confirmed here. Nahi asya varshamana pumsam. Amongst the living entities, no one can surpass the Supreme Person, because no one is richer, more famous, more stronger, more more beautiful, wiser, or more renowned than he. These qualifications make him the These qualifications make him the supreme Godhead, the cause of all causes. Yogis are very proud of performing wonderful feats, but no one can compare to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyone who is associated with the Supreme Lord is accepted a first class yogi. Devotees may not be as powerful as the Supreme Lord, but by constant association with the Lord, they become as good as the Lord Himself. Sometimes the devotees act more powerfully than the Lord. Of course, that is the Lord's concession. Also used here is the word Varim Naha, meaning the most worshipful of all yogis. To hear from Krishna is the real pleasure of the senses. Therefore, he is known as Govinda, for by his words, by his teachings, by his instruction, by everything connected with him, he enlivens the senses. Whatever instructs is from the transcendental platform, and his instructions being absolute are non different from him. Hearing from Krishna or his expansion or plenary expansion like Kapila is very pleasing to the senses. Bhagavad Gita can be read or heard many times, but because it gives great pleasure, the more one reads Bhagavad Gita, the more he gets the appetite to read and understand it, and each time he gets new enlightenment. That is the nature of the transcendental message. Similarly, we find the transcendental happiness is the Srimad Bhagavatam. The more we hear, and chant the glories of the Lord, the more we become happy. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 3. Yad yad vidatte bhagavan swachandatmatma mayaya tani me sraddha dhanasya kirtani yani anukirtaya. Yat yat, whatever, vidate, he performs, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Swachanda Atma, full of self desire, Atma Mayaya, by his internal potency. Tani, all of them, me, to me, Sraddha Dhanasya, faithful, Kirtanyani, worthy of praise, Anukirtaya, please describe, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Therefore, please precisely describe all the activities and pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is full of self desire and who assumes all these activities by his internal potency. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The word Anukirtaya is very significant. Anukirtaya means to follow the description, not to create a concocted mental description, but to follow. Saunaka Rishi requested Suta Goswami to describe what he had actually heard from his spiritual master, Sukadeva Goswami, about the transcendental pastimes the Lord manifested by his internal agency. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personal Godhead, has no material body, but he can assume any kind of body by his supreme will. That is made possible by his internal energy. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 4. Suta Uvacha Dvaipayana Suksakastva Evam Maitreyo Bhagavams Tatha Prahedam Viduram Prita Anvikshiyam Prachoditaha. Suta Uvacha, Suta Goswami said, Dvaipayana Sakaha, friend of Vyasadeva, too then. Evam thus, Maitreya, Bhagavan, worshipful, Tatha, in that way, Praha, spoke, Idam, this, Viduram, to Vidura, Pritaha, being pleased, Anvikshayam, about transcendental knowledge, Prachoditaha, being asked, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Suta Goswami said, the most powerful sage, Maitreya, was a friend of Vyasadeva, being encouraged and pleased by Vidura's inquiry about transcendental knowledge. Maitreya spoke as follows. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Questions and answers are very satisfactorily dealt with when the inquirer is bona fide and the speaker is also authorized. Here, Maitreya is considered a powerful sage and therefore he is also described as Bhagavan. This word can be used not only for the Supreme Personality of Godhead but for anyone who is almost as powerful as the Supreme Lord. Maitreya is addressed as Bhagavan because He was spiritually far advanced. He was a personal friend of Dvaipayana Vyasadeva, a literary incarnation of the Lord. Maitreya was very pleased with the inquiries of Vidura because they were the inquiries of bona fide student, a devotee. Thus, Maitreya was encouraged to answer. When there are discourses on transcendental topics between devotees of equal mentality, the questions and answers are very fruitful and encouraging. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 5. Maitreya Uvacha Pitari Prasthitiranyam Matu Priya Chikitsaya Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatsit Bhagavan Kapila Kila. Maitreya Uvacha, Maitreya said, Pitari, when the father, Prasthite, left Aranyam for the forest, Matuhu, his mother, Priya Chikitsaya, with a desire to please, Tasmin, on that Bindu Sare, Lake Bindu Sarovara, Avatsit, he stayed, Bhagavan, the Lord, Kapilaha, Kapila, Kila, indeed. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maitreya said, when Kardama left for the forest, Lord Kapila stayed on the strand of the Bindu Sarovara to please his mother Devahuti. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the absence of the father, it is the duty of the grown son to take charge of his mother and serve her to the best of his ability, so that she will not feel separation from her husband. And it is the duty of the husband to leave home as soon as there is a grown son to take charge of his wife and family affairs. That is the basic system of household. No one should not remain continually implicated in household affairs up to the time of death. He must leave family affairs, and the wife may be taken charge of any grown son. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 6. Tam asinam akarmanam tattva margargra darshanam swasutam devahuti aha duta datuhu samsmarati vachaha. Tam, to him, Kapila, asinam, seated, akarmanam, at leisure, tattva, of the absolute truth, absolute truth, marga agra, the ultimate goal, darshanam, who could show, swasutam, her son, devahuti, aha, said, datuhu of Brahma, samsmarati, remembering, vachaha, the words. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Kapila, who could show her the ultimate goal of the absolute truth, was sitting leisurely before her, Devahuti remembered the words Brahma had spoken to her, and she therefore began to question Kapila as follows. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 7. Devahutir Uvacha Nirvinna Nitaram Bhuman Asad Indriyatarsanat Yena Sambhavyame Nena Prapannandam Tamaha Prabhu. Devahuti Uvacha, Devahuti said, Nirvinna, disgusted, Nitaram, very Bhuman, O my Lord, Asat, impermanent, Indriya, of the senses, Tarsanat, from agitation, Yena, by which, Sambhavyamanena, being prevalent, Prapanna, I have fallen, Andam Tamaha, into the abyss of ignorance. Prabhu, O my Lord. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Devahuti said, I am very sick of the disturbance caused by my material senses, for because of this sense disturbance, my Lord, I have fallen to the abyss of ignorance. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Here the word Asat Indriya Tarsanat is significant. Asat means impermanent, temporary, and Indriyani means senses. Thus, Asat Indriya Tarshanat means from being agitated by the temporarily manifest senses of the material body. We are evolving through different statuses of material bodily existence. Sometimes in a human body, sometimes in an animal body, and therefore the engagements of our material senses are also changing. anything which changes is called temporary or asat. We should know that body, we should know that beyond these temporary senses are our permanent senses, which are now covered by the material body. The permanent senses, being contaminated by matter, are not acting properly. Devotional service therefore involves freeing the senses from this contamination. When the contamination is completely removed and the senses act in the purity of unalloyed Krishna consciousness, we have reached Sat Indriya or eternal sensory activities. Eternal sensory activities are called devotional service, whereas temporary sensory activities are called sense gratification. Unless one becomes tired of material sense gratification, there is no opportunity to hear transcendental messages from the person like Kapila. Devati expressed that she was tired. Now that her husband had left home, she wanted to get relief by hearing the instructions of Lord Kapila. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 8. Tasya tvam tamaso nandasya dusparasyada paragam sakchakshur janmanam ante labdhami tvad anugrahat. Tasya, that tvam, you, tamasa, ignorance, andasya, darkness, dusparasya, difficult to cross, adya, now, paragam, paragam, crossing over, sat, transcendental, chakshu, unko, chakshu, yeah, I, janmanam, of birth, ante, at the end, anti, at the end, labdham, attained, me, my, tvat anugrahat, by your mercy. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Your Lordship is my only means of getting out of this darkest region of ignorance, because you are my transcendental I, which by your mercy only I have attained after many, many births. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This verse is very instructive, since it indicates the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple. The disciple or conditioned soul is put into the darkest region of ignorance and therefore is entangled in the material existence of sense gratification. It is very difficult to get out of the entanglement and attain freedom. But if one is fortunate enough to get the association of a spiritual master like Kapila Muni or his representative, then by his grace one can be delivered from the mire of ignorance. The spiritual master is therefore worshipped as one who delivers the disciple from the mire of ignorance with the light of the torch of knowledge. The word paragam is very significant. Paragam refers to the one who can take the disciple to the other side. This side is conditioned like paragam is very significant. Paragam refers to one who can take the disciple to the other side. This side is conditioned life. The other side is the life of freedom. The spiritual master takes the disciple to the other side by opening his eye with eyes with knowledge. We are suffering simply because of ignorance. By the instruction of the spiritual master, the darkness of ignorance is removed, and thus the disciple is enabled to go to the side of freedom. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that after many, many births, one surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, if after many, many births, one is able to find a bona fide spiritual master and surrender to such a bona fide representative of Krishna, one can be taken to the side of light. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 9. या आद्यो भगवान पुंसाम आयो या आद्यो भगवान पुंसाम ईश्वरो वै भवान् कै लोकस्य तमसान्तस्य चक्षुषा सूर्य इवोदितः यः इ आयुः Yeah, Ihu, Adyaha, the origin, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Pumsam of all living beings. Yeah, he who, Adya, the origin, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Pumsam of all living entities, Ishvara, the Lord, why in fact matter. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Following entities, Ishvara, the Lord, why in fact, Bhagavan, you, Kila, indeed, Lokasya, of the universe, Tamasa, by the darkness of ignorance, Andasya, blinded, Chakshu, I, why in fact, Bhavan, you, Kila, indeed, Lokasya, of the universe, Tamasa, by the darkness of ignorance, Andasya, blinded, Chakshu, I, Surya, the sun, Iva, like Udita, risen. Transmission by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Origin and Supreme Lord of all living entities. You have arisen to disseminate the rays of the sun in order to dissipate the darkness of the ignorance of the universe. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Kapila Muni is accepted as an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Here the word Adhya means Kapil, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original Supreme Lord of all living entities. You have arisen to disseminate the rays of the sun in order to dissipate the darkness of the ignorance of the universe. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Kapila Muni is accepted as an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Here the word Adhya means the origin of all living entities. The Purusham, Ishvara means the Lord Ishvara of the living entities. Ishvara Paramaho, Krishna. Kapila Muni is a different expansion of Krishna, who is the son of spiritual knowledge. As the sun dissipates the darkness of the Kapila, as the sun dissipates the darkness of the universe, so when the light of the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes down, it at once dissipates the darkness of Maya. We have our eyes, but without the light of the sun, and our eyes we have our eyes, but without the light of the sun, our eyes are of no trouble. And similarly, without the light of the Supreme Lord or without the divine grace of the spiritual master, one cannot see as they are. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 10. अतामे देव सम्मोहम अपाकृष्टम तम अर्हसि यो वाग्रहो याहम ममेति ति अमेति एतस्मिन् योगितस्त्वया अथा. Now me, my Deva, O Lord, sammoham, disillusion, abhivakristam, to Krustam to dispel some dispel Hatvam you Arhasi be pleased Yaha by which Anugraha misconception Aham I Mama mine iti thus Etasmin in this yogitaha engaged Tvaya by you. Now be pleased, my Lord, to dispel my great delusion due to my feeling of false ego. I have been engaged by your Maya and have identified myself with the body and consequent bodily relations. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The false ego of identifying one's body as one's self and of claiming things possessed in relationship with the body is called Maya. In Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, the Lord says, I am sitting in everyone's heart, and from me come everyone's remembrance and forgetfulness. Devahuti has stated that false identification of the body with the self and attachments for possessions in relation to the body are also under the direction of the Lord. Does this mean that the Lord discriminates by engaging one in his devotional service and another in sense gratification? If that were not, it would be an incongruity or the on the part of Supreme Lord. But that is not the actual fact. As soon as the living entity forgives his real constitutional position of eternal servitorship, if that were true, Devahuti has stated that false identification of the body with the self and attachment for possessions in relation to the body are also under the direction of the Lord. Does this mean that the Lord discriminates by engaging one in his devotional service and the other in sense gratification? If that were true, it would be an incongruity on the part of the Supreme Lord, but that is not the actual fact. As soon as the living entity forgets his real existential institution, constitutional position of eternal servitorship to the Lord and wants instead to enjoy himself by sense gratification, he is captured by Maya. This capture of Maya is conscious position of eternal servitorship to the Lord and wants instead of to enjoy himself self gratification, he is captured by Maya. This capture of Maya is this capture by Maya is the consciousness of false and which with the body. This capture by Maya is the consciousness of false identification and so false identification with the body and attachment for the possession of the body. These are the activities of Maya, and since Maya is also an agent to the Lord, it is directly the action of the Lord. The Lord is merciful the Lord is merciful. If anyone wants to if anyone wants to forget him and enjoy this material world, he gives him full capacity, not directly through battery. The Lord is merciful. If anyone wants to forget him and enjoy his material world, he serves them full capacity, not directly but through the agency of his material potency. Therefore, since the internal material potency is the Lord's energy, indirectly therefore, since the material potency is the Lord's energy, indirectly it is the Lord who gives the facility to forget him. Devahuti therefore said, My engagement in sense gratification was also due to you had the Devavati therefore said, my engagement in sense gratification was also due to you. Now kindly get me free from this entanglement. By the grace of the Lord, one is allowed to enjoy this material world, but when one is disgusted with material enjoyment and is frustrated, and when one sincerely surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Lord, then the Lord is so kind that he frees from entanglement. Krishna says, therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, first of all surrender, and then I will take charge of you and free you from all reactions of fruitful sinful activities. Sinful activities are those activities which are which sinful activities are those activities performed in forgetfulness of our relationship with